Hey everyone, it's Lucid, and like I had mentioned in a previous video, pretty much every round 2 game has a caster assigned to it, and so will be going up on YouTube. So you will know a lot more about the trials and tribulations that everybody had to go through to get to the finals, which I will be casting. But I'm going to try to do at least a little bit of a react to the first video that goes up from all the casters once they put it up on YouTube. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. And this first one is Darkside Cookies, who's super cool, and they're going to be casting game 2. So we'll listen to them and see what happens.
Hello everyone, this is Cookies, and I've got game 2 of Lucid's tournament, which I will be casting, and hopefully it'll be a fun one. So we've got 9 players here. First off,
One thing I'll say is everybody to be in a round 2 game had to win a round 1 game. So all of these players have already won like a game to be here. Yeah, that's part of the reason why I think these are all going to be really good.
have Toxic Masculinity, which is being played by Kausk. He is, I believe, a previous finalist. He played Vanheim. Kind of got 2v1'd, ended up dying somewhat early. And then he was also the LA Man player in Lucid's Satis series.
Yeah, I've played a lot of games with Kusk, actually. I think a good number. There's a couple blitzes, I think, that he's been in. I would say, as a player, they're very solid. Like, super good player. I think their diplomacy's a little weak. They tend to be, like, too rigid when they should be flexible. I think is probably their main issue. So, like, they'll kind of dig their heels in when they should maybe be a bit more flexible. But yeah, super good player. I think they've gotten progressively better over the years. So I think they're probably in close to their best form here. I do think they probably are one of the better known players in this game. So they might have a harder time with diplomacy this game just because people are like, oh, they're scary. So that's something I would think about.
And he's probably the only player in this lobby that I'm really familiar with, or at least some.
I'm familiar with a lot of players in this lobby, so that'll be some bonus to me reacting, is I can actually give a bit more backfill.
Somewhat familiar with. Next up, we've got number 1 Dream Atlas sales rep, who is Agartha, who is Tlaloc. So Tlaloc, I believe he's one of the main people, if not the main person, working on Dream Atlas, which should provide an alternative map generation, so we get a little more variety in maps going forward, and some new features, which will be really nice. So he's doing a little bit of advertising with his round 2 pretender name. After that, we've got...
Sorry, I clicked the wrong thing to pause. Yeah, so Tlaloc is... I'm actually not quite sure how to say the name, but yeah, they're a big player, or a big figure in the community. They made Dream Atlas. I was going to use Dream Atlas for the finals, but I couldn't get it. I couldn't get the maps quite how I wanted well enough to use it, so we just did the old map nuke, which is still, you know, a super nice tool. Though with the way maps are in Dominion 6, there's like 14 different layers or something, so the files are huge because they're uncompressed images. So we had been converting some of them with, like for round 1, we converted the map to basically a small file, and that actually helps performance on like laptops and stuff too. So anyway, I haven't actually played a game with them, I don't think. Maybe I have. I don't think so. I played a lot of games. But yeah, really looking forward to seeing how they play.
The pretender for Marignan. They are being played by Amnesary, who, like many of the players in this game, I am not familiar with. Then we've got Kaka.
So I haven't been making comments on the nations too. So first up, Late Age Man is really interesting. I think it's like I've played Kosk's Late Age Man. He was Late Age Man in the Satis game, and he did really well. He steamrolled a few players, was getting really big, and then we kind of grouped up and attacked him. I think I think Man's thing is they're like, he did like had really cool big armies. He did lots of things that Man normally can't do. I think he had a Demi-Lich Pretender, plus he had a lot of like Winds of Death, Cloud Trapezing guys. He had like brought a lot of tools online. One of the things Man isn't usually good at is like mobility. That's normally a bit of an issue for them. So that's kind of cool. LA Agartha is super interesting. They, I think, got buffed. Cave Knights, I think, were one of the best. They probably fared best of many of the cav that weren't like explicitly changed, but just the change of mounting and mount type. Cave Knights are super good now. They got the Corpse Stitcher ability on some of their dudes. I think it's a really interesting nation. The only thing they got nerfed by is Spirit Form now makes their Umbrals not nearly as good with buffs. But still super cool. And then I don't know this player either, the LA Marignon player, but LA Marignon is a nation that has a pretty good win rate. It's pretty solid. They got a ton of tools now. They just have, like, you open up the national roster and it's like they can do everything. So going to be really interesting. And I haven't really seen any Late Age Marignon games yet, but I'm really interested to see what people are thinking about, how they play them, things like that.
Which is Calum, played by Starcrest. We've got Patala.
Starcrest I've played with, or Starcrest I've played, I think, quite a few games with. They tend to do very well in the beginning of the game, and then I think are like busy with real life and tend to like have troubles in the mid and late game with just, I think, like the time commitment that Dominions takes. That's my appreciation anyway. I've not really talked to them about it. But they tend to like playing Calum nations, and they tend to do really well. So Late Age Calum is super cool. I think I've actually played... They might have actually been in the... No, that was a different guy. That was a green guy. But I know I've played or seen them play Satis before. So, I think so. But Late Age Satis is really interesting. I think probably net they got nerfed a tiny bit in Dominion 6, with the Air Death Crosspath not being as good and Piercing Weapons not being as good. But maybe there's some ways they got buffed too that I can't think of. So, anyway, it's still a solid nation. It was super solid in 5.
Build Laboratory Experiment, which is Ref Gear. We've got...
Raf Gear, I don't really know. Patala is super interesting, though, so this will be fun.
Oh gosh, me and Chinese names.
Okay, so this is Sir John. Sir John's a really good player. I've played quite a few games with them as well, though I don't think they know it because it was my alt. But yeah, Sir John's really good. Mad respect for them.
Zongzina? Zhong? I don't know. But they're played by Sir John. With Satis, we have motherfucking snakes. Probably a reference to... Is it Snakes on a Plane? With Samuel L. Jackson, which I really liked. I don't get very many references, but that is one that I do get, I think. Satis is being played by Of Bujak. Then we've got Exodus 2219.
Of Bujak, also a good player. I can't remember the places I've played with them or seen them play, but they're not like super maybe they are. I don't know. I don't think they talk too much in my Discord, but yeah, they're definitely a good player. It's kind of weird because it's like once you've played a ton of games, you like know people, but you don't. I don't know. Maybe I'm too old, or maybe my brain is going, but I don't like remember which game they were all from. But I definitely know they're a solid player, and I've definitely played a game with them. I think.
Which I don't know what that is, aside from it's a Bible quote.
Okay, the player for this is Egg, and I have seen them around the Dominions Discord a ton, and I think they tend to do well. I don't really know much about them, but it's like one of those players like It's like somebody's in like 4 of your classes in school or something, and like you feel like you know who they are, but you don't really.
And let's see, they are. I'm assuming that's Pyrene because the flag is unfamiliar. And they're being played by Egg. And then we've got Tournament Successor, who's Atlantis. And they're being played by Zooey. So.
Yeah, I'm not. Zooey's been around a lot too. They're very, very frequently kind of talking in different discords. So they're definitely a very vibrant part of the Dominions community. I think the Successor is a succubus reference, if I had to guess. But it could also be because they've got like a succubus profile picture. But it could also be that they're going to suck in the tournament. So they're like doing like a self-referential kind of funny joke. Or a self-deferential funny joke. Could be that too.
All these players won their initial round 1 game, as far as I know, unless somebody subbed out. Which means they won a free-for-all game on a donut-styled map between them and 4 other players. So they were so to speak, the best player of the 5 for their particular game. Either they won in some combination of Diplo and scripting, or mostly scripting. It's definitely those were definitely maps you could snowball on. So they've all at least won a game, which I'm hoping will make for a really entertaining second round game. Ideally, they're all fairly capable. I know Kosk is. And
I can't. I've announced. I can't say. But who would I put my money on this list? The thing is, there's a bunch of people who I don't remember how well they play. But I could see Sir John, Kosk, Talak, or Off the Jack. Those would be like my top ones, just because I know them. But there's a bunch of it, like Zooey, who's been around a ton. Atlantis, maybe they do super well. There's a bunch of players that I'm like familiar with, but don't like have recent recollection of how they've done in games. And the other thing is, some players like over the course of a year, some people get way better. I can think of a few players who are like that. So that's also possible for, like, let's say Starcrest, who's like been a good player, but was never like in my head like, oh my god, they're the best player. They could still easily take a game, but over the course of a year, anybody can change to be like to hit the next level. But anyway, I mean, Starcrest's pretty good player, or Starcrest's super good player. Anyway, let's go forward.
Tlaloc, I think, should be pretty good. I've at least heard of him. I think I've heard some mentions of Sir John, so I think we've got a pretty solid lobby here. And we'll have to see how it goes. So let's go ahead and jump to the overland map. So this is how we're going to be deployed here. So it's a 9-player game, so everyone technically borders everyone else. Either through a diagonal. So for instance, if we take Calum here, they'll have Satis to their right, Pyrene above, Marignan to the left, and Tianchi to their south. And then they're at least, was it like kitty corner to the other 4 factions? So
one thing I'll also mention is I'm really excited to see how LA Satis does. I want to see, 1, do they get ganged up on by people? And 2, they have a buff, like a pretty big buff from Dominions 5, but like how does that factor in? The other thing I really want to see is I want to see LA Atlantis do well. I feel like LA Atlantis can be really strong, but it's like they're sort of janky. And I've been thinking, not right recently, but like a year ago, I was thinking a lot about how I do like right when Dominion 6 came out, I was thinking about how I do a LA Atlantis build. Of course, I haven't ever taken it into a game, and I haven't even come up with exactly what it is. But I will say one of the things I think for LA Atlantis is they have really good stuff, but their stuff tends to be like slow, heavy infantry. And you sort of need there's ways to counter like foul vapors and stuff like that. So you kind of need like this other tool. So like a way to deal with that, which often will involve your sacreds or god. So I think you have to like to come up with a build that could like win a really hard multiplayer game. You need to think about that. But
we've got Atlantis, Agartha, Man, and Patala. So a very, very tight map. Atlantis did opt for a coastal start, it looks like. No reason for
the coastal start was also something we had a real hard time figuring out exactly how to do. I think I had said 3 provinces. I think if I could go back, I'd make it 2. Because it ends up kind of screwing whoever has the direction of the coastal start. But 2 would be a lot less malignant. But anyway, we did the best we could. So I think that's it. That's going to be the extent of this. Maybe we'll skip forward to a bit of the second turn, because there'll be a bit more action.
And I've got...
All right, let's do that. We'll do this one, turn 3. They're on turn 7. So we'll watch a bit of this one, because we'll watch some of the expansions, because that will be fun. And then I'll just point you guys to, I mean, you can just look up Darkside Cookies Dominions, but I'll put a link to this in the description as well.
Yes, I've got turn 3 of the second round of Lucid's tournament as part of game 2 out of the 10 round 2 games. And I did get a little bit of feedback, so I talked to Tlaloc, who's also playing in this game, and I talked a little bit to Drithel. And I don't think there's anything we can do about the map. It looks like the map had an accidental cave wall labeling for the Omniscience province. I'm a little bit surprised it even started, to be honest. But
this was 100% my fault. I had to make a ton of these, and some of them I forgot to change the Omniscience start from cave wall. Because it's not even you just have to make 10 maps. It's you have to make 10 maps like 3 different times, because there ends up being something fucked up.
As long as it's working, we'll go ahead and keep going. We're just not going to have graphs for this game. Until maybe...
I think in some ways, no graphs until the end is good for casting. Like, because it handicaps the caster. It puts them more in line with, like... Because a lot of times if I'll cast a game, you'll be like... You'll watch it and you'll be like, oh god, how could these people not all team up on so-and-so? And it's because me as the caster is like, oh, this person's sort of running away with things. Part of the reason I'm thinking of that is I can see the graphs, and I'm talking about the graphs with you guys. But if we don't have graphs, then you're much more in a similar headspace as the player. But, I mean, even still, we have way more information than the player would normally have. But graphs just adds, like, another level to it.
Well... When the end of the game happens, there should be graphs for the game. And then also, if there's... if somebody puts up Eyes of God, maybe I can get those graphs to share. But we'll see if they feel like sharing them. It'll depend maybe a little bit on the player. All right. So we've got 2 messages this turn.
We're going to skip the messages.
So in Hyperboach... we've got a scout ping from Agartha. So we've got a whole complement of heavy cavalry and crossbows. Yeah, 18 protection heavy cavalry, no less. Pretty spooky. In Esquania. Gosh,
these starting armies are fucking trash. They're so bad.
Alright, so we're relying mainly on the Sitis Prophet and these light infantry with javelins to try and rout the barbarians. And then they're also going to be relying on their spears to repel. I think it would have been good to have a few of the slingers. We'll see if this works. I'm worried.
You have a small chance of sniping the commanders.
He does have a few of these halberders who are, it looks like a new heavy protection, 23 damage, Sitis heavy infantry with 11 attack. These look excellent. I don't know that I've seen these yet, because I haven't played Sitis since some of the new units came out. I haven't really played MA either, but I mean they should do all right. Maybe that'll be enough, actually.
That's
Yeah,
coping.
good
He's coping so hard.
contact along the front line with them. One squad routed.
The commander hasn't routed yet. But I think they've got the HP route.
Yeah, I think those heavy infantry are clutch. Most
Wow.
of them died.
Oh, they got the last commander.
But they did a phenomenal job.
I thought there was no way that was going to work. Color me surprised.
All
It
right.
worked.
So what did Satis lose? So he lost 4 of the 6 halberders. The light infantry did
Unbelievable.
perform pretty well because they got those javelins and they can repel. City guards, yeah, they really suck at fighting. They they tended to just die in droves. Their shield may not have been enough. So was that like 28 protection on a shield hit? I think sometimes barbarians will hit through that, although it's somewhat unlikely. But yeah, nevertheless, Prophet picked up 3 kills as well. Does win the province, which is the most important thing. With Namor, we've got the Return of the Cat going up against just tons of infantry. Personal region, Twist Fate, Gift of the Hair, in case he needs to run.
I love this tiger. This tiger is a great pretender choice. It has a lot of boxes checked, built-in stealth, lots of attacks, really good paths.
It's the fatigue at 24, not too bad. As
Not
a
sure about the
reminder,
Nature 3, though it
there's
does
the
make
bless,
expansion
a natural
super
protection
trivial.
and an aging, so this cat actually has 21 protection. A lot more than normal. Certainly not invulnerable, though. You can see those heavy infantry chunking through them a bit. Alright. So, takes that with the Pretender. Then in Durland. Oh, we've got a...
The biggest piggest.
Toxic Masculinity, the thrice horned boar. So, air shield.
Those of you who don't know, biggest piggest was the thrice horned boar that
Dominion,
GC
you
used in
are
a game.
chakras, natural protection, and mountain survival. So up at 24 protection with the earth magic bonus. I think this is a similar build to what Kosk ran in the LA Statis game. I don't remember the paths, but I'm pretty sure.
This is a pretty cool build. Like being able, I mean, like this is super scary, and it can do things like the enchantment shield effect. It can do raining stones. It can do wrathful skies. It can also, you have to protect your army with like flyers that will trigger berserk for it because you can kind of fuck it up as a caster. But this thing is a teleport, like a cloud trapezing threat is super scary.
Was it a bull or was it a boar? I think it was a boar. I'd have to go back and check though. So, as a reminder, this guy's got pretty basic encumbrance, so not fatiguing out too quickly. Alright. So, the boar goes ahead and picks up a province. Agartha goes after Uliatham.
I'm hoping we see cave drakes here.
Is this the Dracolich?
Oh, the Dracolich. Yeah, this guy's a boss.
Should be able to deal with this. Not in Dominion again, though.
Doesn't matter.
So, does make it a little bit more risky, but we don't know what the bless is.
Oh, it's on attack.
I would
I
think
prefer
there's
to
a
just
bless,
fire
though.
closest. I think it's like the only way you can
All right,
potentially
so
lose.
the fear
I mean,
takes effect
he's got a
very
super
quickly on
strong
these
fear.
independents, and they flee. So a lot of expanders right now. We get to see our first Atlantean expansion. Or no. No, this is the second time. This dragon almost died last turn, if I remember right. We got some flying shards. Artillery. Okay,
I
and that
think you
was
do fire
the dragon
closest. I don't know why
breath.
you jump in.
There we go.
This guy's dragon breath is super strong. Like, this is really good at deleting elites.
I can't imagine these infantry want to hang around much longer. Okay. So let's go ahead and see here. So that was successful. That was successful. So we have Dracolich, a dragon, a lot of expanders here. TNG pinging this province, not too many heavy infantry, doesn't look too bad. Goes after Ultima Tifia. There, I guess also pings that. Also doesn't, ooh.
Ooh, that was a good catch.
Finds the infamous Cloud Mage.
Fuckers is who they found.
This guy's got a
Hate these
sort
guys.
of sharpness as well. So it could be a little bit tricky. A bunch of air gems on these guys. They could also do a little bit of mist form, which could be tricky to deal with. But the opportunity for loot is there. In Dardius, we've got Satis. Oh gosh. So we've got 2 black dragons. Alright.
Oh, God.
I think it was the
I've never
Satis
seen this
one that
many.
almost died. I could be wrong though.
I think the other one had hard
rewatch.
skin. Oh, they're both doing fly
A
attack
lot of
rear. Huh?
expanders though.
Oh, here it worked. You just sniped the commander.
Takes out the leadership. Alright. Then we've got Pyrene.
Ooh, the Cambion
Got
Knights.
a couple of their goat sacreds. We'll see if we can catch the bless for them.
I'll be real. I don't know if these are like if this is the strongest faction. I have an itch to play LA Pyrene. They just seem super cool. They're like very focused. You know, they're not like a super toolkit diverse nation exactly. They kind of have a few things, but they do those few things well. It's like blood and glamour. That seems like a lot of fun to me. This just seems like a really cool faction. The classic Undying Enchanted Blood Bless.
Very traditional cavalry bless. We've got Undying with Enchanted Blood, a little bit of heroism, some strength to help. For 2 reasons. One, to get out of like entrapment spells like Web and was it the I'm forgetting the Earth Entangle spell, but
Grip.
yeah, to get out of stuff like that, and then also for a heavier lance hit to punch through heavy armor or high protection stuff. And then we've got a couple of resists to enable a couple of different traps or to protect against a couple of traps. So we've got shock and poison resist. That gives them shock resistance 5, poison resistance 5. So they've got, I think, apparently 10 fire resist. So they've got a little bit of coverage for all the resists. What that enables is when Pyrene gets to 8.
They also, when they get Blood 4, they can do Bloodlust. And because these guys are demons, the goats aren't. But these guys are demons, so they'll get the bonus strength from that.
They can throw up all the traditional fend spells and get pretty good coverage. And when they run up blood, they'll be able to get to Poison Rose 15. I think the only thing they'd be somewhat vulnerable to at that point is very heavy lightning attacks. So Wrathful Skies would probably maybe still do a little bit of damage. But overall, very good bless.
I think they have a major weakness with the goats in the late game. So, like, their MR I don't think is very good. I could be wrong. Let me check.
They're not invincible in melee, as you're seeing here. They definitely had a few hits land, but they will do plenty good enough. Alright, so it loses one crossbow. And we've got Patala going after their farm. We've got a whole
I
bunch
stand
of
corrected.
monkey
The
infantry.
Cambion
Decent
black goats
production
are
at
13 MR.
14. I say decent for monkeys. And then they've also got a mace for 16 damage. They've got a couple of Sacred Naga warriors. A little bit of an army thug, it looks like, with stone skin. And then Divine Blessing. The bless here is Shock Res 10, Fire Res 5, penetration bonus, because Patala has really solid communions, and larger. So
I think that's hypnotized
also
too.
helps protect against traps a little bit, and also might enable some stuff, maybe some surprises of their own.
I think they have astral communions, but I think you get it for the hypnotize on the Nagas.
Over here we've got the Chakram Throwers. The 14 damage chakra. Looks like the range scales with strength, which is pretty nice. And I think the damage also scales with strength. So yeah. So they take strength buffs extremely well.
Not bad for monkeys.
Alright.
We've seen a lot of expanders so far, I feel like.
So it does take a fair amount of attrition, but I mean, it does take the farm as well. Loses 2 Naga warriors, that does suck. Ideally you wouldn't lose those. But
that was an expansion force
considering they didn't
almost
take an
100.
expander, I think you have to take what you can get a little bit there with Scales troops into crossbows. We've got a bunch of long spears for man, so this is our first Scales troop expansion. Longbows going after the archers, and then the long spears.
No, the longbows are going after the heavy infantry. You really wanted the longbow on archers,
they're going to
though.
meet around the same time as a couple of knights. They fill in nicely.
They would have HP routed the archers by now, and that would just contribute to the HP routing of the army. I mean, the archers are also going to do some chip damage to you, but here you're going to also friendly fire the army, too. There's also a chance, I think, when you fire the archers, you kill the commander.
So, loses
high
11
attrition.
on the long
This is
spears.
kinda bad.
Might want to rotate around the capital to get more for the next expansion. Next up is Florian with Marignan, or attacking Florian.
Ooh, they got the gold knights, with the
Yes,
gold heavy
Marignan.
infantry.
And then we've got some
Royal
Royal Guard here.
They're expensive, but I think the better
Madame
stats are
Fortuna.
worth it at the beginning when you have tons of gold, but not a lot of resources.
She's already got a Pendant of Luck and some pearls, so curious to see what she does. We're going up against a mixed grab bag of humans.
It's a merc, right?
So we're doing Gift of Cheated Fate.
Probably want that on the front line. Oh, I guess it was. Oh, I think she came with the slingers, maybe.
Slingers route.
Oh, she almost dies.
Enemy infantry route, though, so Marignan takes it. Loses
Take
6
what you can
city
get
guard,
here.
5 pikeneers, and 3 slingers.
The first few turns with LA
They
Marignan are like
might
very
still have
risky.
enough to keep going, though, if they wanted to strike out. With Kafir, we've got another Pyrene. Nope, we've got a ping. So it looks like a pretty normal province. With Atlantis, we've got Midland. Let's see, so we've got 2 types of infantry. It looks like maybe, no, 3. So we've got a few Ice Guard out in front, 20 protection, 24 damage, Ice Glaive, decent attack, very tanky troops. And then we've got a number of Snow Warriors, a little less tanky, still have ice armor, and an ice spear, so magic weapon. These guys also have a magic weapon.
I think a thing to think about with these starting armies for Atlantis, where they're not as heavily armored, it's like once you start going in this direction, you have this many like troops who are gonna die reasonably easily. You kind of don't want to mix in like a few guys with really heavy armor, unless they have like they're gonna do the tanking job, and that isn't really gonna happen here. I think it's probably better for your first army to like just buff it with the sacreds and then not do the high protection troops. Just do more of these guys or something. My personal opinion. Could be wrong, but obviously, as you get into expansion, it's nice to have more of the high protection dudes when you're not worried about the low protection dudes HP routing them.
And then we have a bunch of seal hunters with snow spears. These are a little bit more fodder troops to fill out the line. So he's got strong edges here with this particular line, probably due to how he recruited the units. And then he's got a little group of elites out in front, including a few Arsatutes, who are sacred with big bone glaives. Let's see, that have a weakness effect. All right. Ooh, but they are going to eat a lance charge. The sacreds don't.
Okay, I stand corrected a little bit. Having the heavy protection guys to eat the lance charge was sort of good. Like, they didn't take that much damage, but that lance charge would have fucked up the line.
Like it. Let's see. Did we get blessed? We did not. Where's the commander? Oh, it's just a snow captain.
This is a lot of heavy cav.
So, not a bless worth bringing along, I guess, but does recruit a few of the sacreds. A little bit sad for the ice guard. They eat those lance charges, they're fighting well, and then everyone behind them runs away and leaves them for dead. Alright. So we have our first Scales troop expansion fail. We've had a couple of pretenders have very close calls. This one,
Zooey, that hurts,
31
man.
casualties, probably lost a couple on the...
Here's the thing, is I really want to see Atlantis do well. And expansion for them is normally kind of easy, but this is the kind of thing that this, by the way, if you run the glaive guys with, like, 15 glaive guys would fuck this up. 20 glaive guys, like the heavy protection dudes, but not your starting army. The starting army kind of this is like the one thing that sort of fucks them a bit. Because, like, heavy infantry are not bad. So it's heavy infantry and heavy cav, and it's a lot of them. This is another one of the surprisingly difficult melee comps for, like, indies, because it's, like, all melee. There's no archers or anything. So a lot of times if you see, oh, there's 60 indies, that's not that many. That's, like, a normal amount. It's heavy infantry, militia, and archers. Like, okay, there's some heavy infantry we have to kill. There's some militia. But this one, it's, like, 12 heavy cav, 48 heavy infantry, and then 2 militia. So this might have been like a low roll on militia, high roll on heavy infantry, but also no archers. So anyway, if it was like the heavy infantry, militia, archer comp, you have maybe 40 infantry total and 20 archers that aren't going to do much if you've got shields or armor or something. Yeah. So when you have 50% more melee units, that's a big problem. It means it's going to take a lot longer to rout the enemy. There's a lot more incoming damage, all that stuff.
Rout only kills half the heavy cavalry. Definitely bad news for Atlantis. Then we've got Marignan. The Virtue is out again.
Yeah. Personal Mistform Air Shield Charged Body. I love it.
Mistform Air Shield Charged Body. Very strong awe effect.
That weapon is sick, that flambeau. It looks super cool too. It's hitting itself a lot. Like, if you look at the effect, you can see it zapping itself. So I think it has high fire resistance where it doesn't matter.
Okay. So the Virtue is victorious. So I think that's pretty good expansion for Marignan. And we've got Calum up next. Just a big block of birds. The Prophet is way off to the side, though.
Is that death weapons I saw in there? What was that bless?
We have a bunch of commanders in the back. Archers are focused on the troops.
One more
less
commander,
to
get it. Oh, the commander won't die.
This might be our second failure.
Feels bad. Oh, they got him.
They do get him.
But they're gonna rout.
But yeah, they've taken too much attrition. The Storm Captain might... I think it's Storm
That does
General.
look like death weapons. Or am I
end up finishing this off, though.
Oh, it is, because he's got syllable of death. I think that's the only thing it could be. I don't think that's
So it's a
withering
success,
weapons. I think that's...
but at the cost of nearly all the troops. It was very close. Actually, only lost 20. Some of them might have retreated successfully, but
These are bird problems.
Relocate the Prophet. Coast Haven. We've got TNG. We've got a few of the Ancestor vessels. We'll have to see what their bless is. I forgot to look at the Kalem bless as well. Natural protection again and unaging. A lot of natural protection in this game.
Yeah, I think it's the Earth Dragons. I don't think Biggest Pigus had it.
This one's getting surrounded. But they do end up surviving. Okay. Really quick, let's go
TNG looks like they're doing really well. Ooh, Atlantis with a double expansion.
No, it was Kalem that I wanted to check. That's right. Where the Prophet was. Death weapons and poison resistance. Okay.
That's fucking cool.
And then we've got TNG.
Didn't we watch that?
Oh,
yeah, we just
watched that. And we have Agartha. Ooh, Cave Knights.
Here we go.
Tanky,
Bring out the Cave Knights.
Agarthan Infantry, which are reasonably tanky. Backed up by Agarthan Light Infantry, who are much faster. Yeah. And they're back deployed. I feel like the Light Infantry are going to run in first. And
Wait, what are the combat speed? I thought Cave Knights were fast.
And then the other stuff is going to meet up, but maybe they'll meet at the same time. Hopefully he's done expansion testing.
Oh no, they're slow. I thought they were a little faster than that.
Oh
no, he did it about right.
Yeah,
They're all getting there at the same time. I think you want the light infantry getting there a little slower though.
I was worried.
But yeah, these undead aren't going to have anything to say. So they are getting a tiny bit flanked on the right.
Should be fine now. Don't care about losing a couple of light infantry down there, that's fine. Alright. Okay, so aside from this bugged thing, let's go take a look at the map. So we've
TNG
got
looking
TNG
quite
at
nice.
3, Kalem at 2, Marignan at 4.
Love seeing that from Marignan. Expansion for Marignan's not trivial.
Atlantis is on 2. Okay, so they bounced off Midland, but the Dragon won.
Oh, that's why they went. They went for that heavy cap province because it was a farm. They got greedy. They were like looking at this farm. They were thinking, "Oh, dude, it's gonna be so much money. We're gonna get 300 gold a turn if we take it." They didn't read the heavy cav and heavy infantry and militia. And it probably said 70 or something. Oh, God. I really want to... if you go back, if you want to see LA Atlantis do well, watch Perun win his game. It was really fun. It was a good game. But honestly, I think that's the only time I've seen LA Atlantis do really well. And I think it's a really strong nation. Like, they have really cool, really good tools. But it's just... They also have some kind of crippling weaknesses, too. Expansion shouldn't be one of them, but the beginning of expansion before you have resources is tricky.
Out to the middle, which is excellent for them. So, establishing a border. And then we've got Pyrene on 2. I guess, Man is on 3. Kalem, Sitis on 3.
All right, folks, so I'm interested to see how the rest of this goes. But to keep my own video short, because, of course, your videos are always longer than the video you're reacting to, though I'm not really much of a reaction video person. we will end it here. So I'll put a link to this in the description. Go check out this playlist. I'll link to the whole playlist, not just his channel. And yeah, check out the playlist. Should be cool. We'll have, I think Kirby might be ready to upload. He might have already started. I'll be doing a reaction like this for everybody who uploads. So yeah. And then I might do, I probably need to post something. Everybody's posted their round 1 games that they've either, like they put up their perspective. I should compile a list and put that out. I've been busy and I've been lazy. I've been busy and lazy is yeah, it's an interesting mix. So I've been very busy and a little bit lazy and have not put that together and done a video showing it. But that would also be cool to see, because then you'd be able to be like, oh, here's the perspective of one of the players who's in like the round 2 game that you're watching. So yeah, there's going to be probably 1,000 hours of videos in total for the tournament. More than I have time to watch, but it gives you the option to pick and choose. Maybe there's a nation you like, a player you like. Yeah. So with that, I will end it here, and we'll see you next time. Cheers, guys.